Hi, Holly. Hi, Amy and Vicki. Happy Friday, everyone. We'll wait just a bit. So this month, instead of in-person regional events, Stamping Up is hosting virtual on-tour events for their demonstrators. And there are various dates and times throughout the month, and also in different locations. And that is so that when we do the Zooms, you're connected with people fairly close to your area that you're a demonstrator in. But the one I had signed up for was last night. So I had 4 of my Merry Stampers team members here yesterday evening. I had dinner for them, and then we did the virtual event together, 6 to 9, and chatted for a while afterwards. So very, very nice evening. 2 of them had to go home for work today. Had to go home last evening for work today. The other 2 stayed overnight, and I visited with them a bit this morning until they left and I started my work day. But it was just a great evening for a sharing of creative ideas and new product. We shared business tips. We were able to network with other people in small groups through the Zoom, as well as hear how the company's doing, which is they're doing very well, and kind of what direction we're going, and just giving us lots of good creative ideas, class and event ideas, business tips. So it was a very nice thing to do, and it was very nice that I was able to have 4 of my team members come from Cincinnati to Columbus, and we could do it together, because the events are always wonderful. And you know, it's been well over a year and a half since we've Stampin' Up! Has been able to have any in-person events. The rest of the in-person events for this year have also been canceled. I shouldn't say canceled, switched to virtual events. So if we can't be together in person, which for me is always the highlight of the events, it sure is nice that Stampin' Up! Is continuing with these virtual events for us, so we can continue to learn and grow and share, and to meet more people in our community of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. So that was a lot of fun. For the people that came last night, I had a couple of surprises, and I did a strawberry theme. So I used the Sweet Strawberry stamp set and the Strawberry Builder Punch. And then I just covered some steno notebooks with the strawberry paper. Now the paper was celebration freebie, so that won't be available in the new catalog. I'm just using up what I had. But the Sweet Strawberry stamp set and the Strawberry Builder Punch will continue to be available in the new catalog, so they won't be around for another year. And the Strawberry Builder Punch, I know many of you have been waiting to order that. It is due to come into the warehouse next week. So keep your fingers crossed that on Monday we'll get some notice that people can start ordering that once again. But if you can't, for whatever reason, know that it's going to be around for a whole nother year. If you look here, this is a sneak peek of one of our new die sets. Let me think of what the name is. Tailored tag dies? I feel like there's another word in there. But there's, I believe 8, I put it away already, 8 dies in the set, 2 different shapes of tags. And I can already tell, using it one time, that this might be my new favorite go-to die set. I picture myself die cutting several of these tags in different sizes in white and just having them ready to go to add to my cards and paper crafts. Do a quick stamping on them and put them on. So I'm excited about that. I also purchased those little strawberry candies and made them a little treat box with one of our treat boxes that you can purchase from Stampin' Up. And then covered it with some designer series paper. I actually made it into a belly band so it can slide off and they can reuse the box for something else. Use some of our sheer ribbon, which you know I love, and then did some more stamping with the sweet strawberry stamp set. So that was a nice little surprise for me to give them, and they enjoyed that. And I'm going to be showing you or using some new product in today's project. Final reminder, today is the very last day to get a free class to go for the Welcoming Window bundle. You just buy the stamp set die bundle with my host code, and then I will send you a free class to go. It will contain materials that you need to make 6 cards to each of the 3 designs I just showed you. If you already have the Welcoming Window, but you want the free class, you just have to place a $50 order with that host code and let me know that you want it towards that free class. The other thing is today is my last day to get the free Flowering Cactus tutorial. The Flowering Cactus product medley is $70. You order it online with the host code also. And then I will send you a free tutorial to make 13 different cards using the contents of the Flowering Cactus product medley, which does include the stamp set, the dies, there are embellishments, twine, and 48 sheets of 6x6 designer series paper. That's gorgeous. Bright colors, fun images. And these are just 2 of the colors, or 2 of the cards that would be included in that tutorial. Are you ready to see a new product? Okay, I'm going to show you little bits. I was going to pull out what I have from pre-order already and decide I'm just going to try to show you a little bit each Facebook Live leading up to the catalog launch on May 4th, when I will go through the catalog and point out some favorites and highlight some things for you. So let's get started. And I have to give a shout out to my teammate, Rita Holmes. She was here last night for the virtual on tour event put on by Stampin' Up. But she gave me a helpful tip. She and I both have the same kind of stand mount for our Facebook Lives, and she gave me a helpful tip that is going to make transitioning to talking with you face to face to putting my camera on my craft space. So I'm going to switch that around right now with a smoother transition, and then we'll get started on today's fun fold card. What Rita showed me eliminates the use of the small tripod I was using to hold my phone camera when I want to speak to you face to face. So I'm so grateful to Rita for that quick tip. It's one of those, duh, why didn't I think of that moments? But anyways, grateful for that. So today I'm going to show you how to make a Dutch door fun fold card. And I'm going to be using a new bundle. This is the Color and Contour bundle. So it's designed for 2-step stamping. And it can also, and you can do different types of coloring with this. You don't always have to fill in the flowers and leaves and petals with the solid image stamps. You can color them with your watercolor markers, ink pads and blender pens, your Stampin' Blends, anything you want. But it's got some wonderful sentiments. And then this is the die set that goes with it. So you've got 2 dies that cut out the flowers and then the daisy shaped flower. And then you have a border, which would be fun to add to the edge of maybe your card front, something like that. And then we have this set of frames. Let's see, what are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different scallop frames. So I'll be using one of the frames, as well as this one that cuts out the flowers on the stem. And I'm using the middle size frame. But lovely, lovely bundle that I'm excited to use for the first time with all of you. As I prepare to do this project, I want to point out a new feature. You know, in the past that on these cellophane pieces of plastic that Stampin' Up! Has the photopolymer stamps mounted on, there used to be imprinted with the design or the words, whatever. Now they are printing that on the back of the cover of our stamp cases. So it's part of that paper. And now you don't have to fool with all these pieces of plastic anymore. So what'll happen is after I use each of these and clean them, then I will just lay them back on here. And it's easy to see they're all in place. If I don't have a stamp on one of these, that means it's missing. I need to search for it somewhere on my craft table. So I love that they are starting to print these on the back of the case cover. I think it's just an added convenience, makes it really easy to see. So I'm thrilled about that. But right now I'm going to pull out the couple of stamps that I'm going to use. After I had everything set out, I did think, oh gosh, I should have used some new colors too, but that's all right. You'll have to wait till another time to see those. I wanted to kind of match this up. Here's a trick you can do. If you've got a stamp that you're going to use to fill in other colors, actually I had it upside down. What I like to do is mount the one, and then you can lay this on top so that it kind of matches up with the first stamp. And then I simply lay my other clear block on top of that and pick it up. So now I'll be able to stamp the outline image, and then when I'm ready to stamp the inside of the flowers with the solid stamp, I'll be able to match up those images a little better rather than just sticking it on willy-nilly and trying to turn it and figure it out. So quick little tip there. I will put the rest of those on afterwards. And let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is, and I like to measure these instead of just guessing. So this die cut is not quite 4 inches by 2 3/4. So I'm going to cut that approximate size. I'm going to use one for stamping, and then I will die cut with the flower die. But the other one I will use to die cut this shape, that frame. And I'm going to use the same color for this. So the first thing, and I do remember, if you don't have a mat like mine that has a little bit of a give, you do want to use a Stampin' Pierce mat or even your, oh, I always forget the name of this. Somebody's going to shout it out here, I know, or type it, I should say. Silicone mat, that works well too. But you need something to give that little push when you're using a photopolymer stamp. Because photopolymer stamps are flexible, but they are not, but they are considered a solid surface, so there's no give to them like the rubber stamps have. But I'm using a garden green marker to go over the leaves and the stem only of this stamp. Now, if I were going to work with the Stampin' Blends, I would probably just stamp this whole image in the black Memento ink. But I'm not wanting that. I want two different colors of outline here. And then I'm using Gorgeous Grape for the flower blooms. We can even try it both ways if you want to see that. I personally think this works a little bit better on the rubber stamps, but I want to show it to you here, and you can make your own judgment of that. But again, we have lots of different options. When you color with the markers, be sure and huff on it. Breathe heavily so that it re-moistens the ink. And you're going to press it down like that. And I have the basic outlines. So now I want to take a lighter shade of the purple and the green. So I'm going to use I don't know if I have all the right pieces here. That's not the right one. Okay. So I'm going to use the Highland Heather to fill in the flowers. And remember, I said I already matched up the shape of the solid flowers for the shape of the outline of the flowers. And Highland Heather is a shade lighter than the Gorgeous Grape. So just give me some nice contrast and dimension. One thing I will tell you about this, you can see it's not matched up perfectly. This stamp set is not intended for the solid to match up with the outlines exactly. So it's very user friendly. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not even intended to work that way. So I personally love that about the set. Now, if you wanted to add some more leaf to it, you could either just color in those small leaves, or you could just stamp this larger leaf on it in a different shade. It can go right over it, or it can go lower or higher. I'm just going to go right over it because it's that type of stamp. Just adds, I guess, say a little more whimsical look to it. Cindy, I was using these Stampin' Right markers. The Stampin' Blends are hard to use with that technique because the Stampin' Blends dry out so quickly because they're alcohol based. So you want to use the water-based Stampin' Right markers. Okay. All right, let me put those aside. I'm going to bring in my die cutting machine, and then I will show you how to cut the pieces for our Dutch fold card. And I should be able to cut both this layer and the flowers at the same time. Put this a little closer so you can see it better. Now, one thing I should say, I probably, if I were doing this again and just mounting this rectangle onto my card, that would be great. What you're going to see, though, is that this die is going to cut off some of that larger leaf. But I still wanted to show you how that works when you use it on this stamped image, because you might not always cut out the flower with the die. Also remember the trick, if you want to make sure that die stays in place nicely so you get a nice even cut all the way around your stamped image, just use a little bit of washi tape. And you want to make sure that your washi tape is on the metal die and outside of the stamped image, just in case it would stick a little bit too much. You don't want it to tear or mar your stamped image. And then I'm just going to put both of these through. I'm going to just roll it back through. And I get that. Isn't that pretty? And then I get this beautiful scalloped layer that also has some stitching on it, which I really like. And I'll show you this again because each of these frames is a little bit different. They all have a scallop, but they have a different edge on it. This middle one just happens to be the scallop with the stitched stitch markings, the stitches on it. And now I'm going to just pop this up on some dimensionals. I think I can put one of these mini dimensionals on this leaf. I'll put one here, and I'm not going to worry about the rest of the stem. It'll be just fine. If you wanted to add some color, you could die cut this in a different color of cardstock. Another fun way to add color to this, and I love this. I used this for my swap card, my virtual swap card last night. I did this on there. I'm using Balmy Blue with the blending brush, and I'm just going over here very lightly. Always start out just light, and you get this soft bit of color that to me looks kind of like a sky background. Honestly, I think the sky at my house is this blue today, only more vibrant. It's gorgeous here in Columbus, so hopefully it is where you are too. Yes, Cindy, that's another great idea, sponging the edges. So many fun ways to add some color. So I'm going to set that aside for now. To make your Dutch fold card, you are going to start with a 5.5 by 4 1/4 piece of cardstock. Now you can mix and match the colors, and you'll see why I say that as we build this card. So 5.5 by 4 1/4. Oops, and I just cut the wrong thing. Did I? No, 5.5. Okay, turned it the wrong way. By 4 1/4. And it's this size because this is not going to open, but this will be the same, the finished card will be the same size as our standard card base, 5.5 by 8.5 that we fold in half. And then you need a piece that measures 2 3/4 by 8.5. 2 3/4 by 8.5. And I'm going to score this at 4 1/4. So now when this is folded, it'll be the same width as that base. And I'm going to add the base, this folded, I'll call it the mini card. the Dutch door to the bottom of that base. So you're going to match up the left and right sides and the bottom. And you now have this. Now I know that I'm going to want to write in my card, and I'll be doing that pretty much at the bottom, but I want to leave some of that nice granny apple green border there. So I am going to cut this to, that was 2 3/4. So I'm going to do 2 5/8, just a wee bit smaller. And I know it's 4 1/4 inches wide. So this piece will be 4 1/8. And so now I'm going to mount this. Now, if you did want to put a sentiment in here, or maybe stamp a flower in the corner, something like that, please do it before you adhere this. Alrighty, just like that. And now I'm ready to add this. I could add it like that, but I think we need another layer back there. So I'm using, actually we could even do 2. So I know this is 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. So I'm just going to go a little bit larger. Well, if I can grab it here, I'm going to do 2 layers behind that. So I said, what did I say? 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. So I'm going to go 3 3/4. I'm going to do 3 7/8. By 2 5/8. And this is the Gorgeous Grape, the same color that I used for the outline of the flowers. And then I'm going to make that even larger. So again, I did 3 7/8. This time I'm going to do 4 1/8 of Highland Heather. I did 2 5/8, so I'm going to do 2 7/8, because this time I want a larger border of the Highland Heather than I did the Gorgeous Grape. And I can add that. However, we're going to dress it up a little bit more. And we're going to do that with some Designer Series paper. I love the purple and green together. I mean, to me, that just screams spring. And I'm looking for my Granny Apple Green Designer Series paper. Oh no, that looks like Old Olive. That's not it. Uh-oh, do I have any? I have a little bit. Oh good, I do. Whew. I've been using more of this lately and I forget. It seems like I have so much, but if I'm always using the same color, I guess not. Now there's a couple ways to do this. You could put a Designer Series paper along the back, in which case I would probably mount it before I would put this bottom strip on, just so that you can overlap it a little bit and the edge of your DSP is hidden. Or you can just put some on the front of your Dutch door, like that. So that's what I'm going to do. I have different choices here. I think I'm going to go with this wood grain. And I'm going to make the DSP the same size as I made this white. So that would be Let me think a second. 2 3/4. It would be 2 5/8 by 4 1/8. And when I add this video to my blog next week, I'll have all the dimensions for you. Of course, you can always just go back and review the video and pause it as you need to get the dimensions. But I will do that when I add this to my blog post next week. To a blog post, I should say. And now I'm ready to add everything to the front. Another idea you can do to dress these up is you can stamp color on color right onto your cardstock. Where did I get my paper holder? It says Essentials by Art Bin, and I believe I bought them on Amazon or something, but they're perfect for those 6x6. And they fit just perfectly. So I really like it. And it snaps closed, so it's great for traveling too. I'm going to add my Gorgeous Grape layer to my Highland Heather layer. Oops. And then I'm going to mount this to the front of my Dutch door. Dutch door just means that the bottom opens. And sometimes, like a real Dutch door might have, it's almost like a door on top of a door. So the top door would open separately from the bottom door. But what I like to do to make sure my adhesive only goes where I need it, I don't want any adhesive on the top of this or it's going to stick to the base and hold that card shut. So I'm going to go along the bottom of my Highland Heather, and I'm going to go along the top of my Dutch door. And then I'll center this. I think that looks pretty good. Nice and straight and centered. Just like that. And then I think I'm going to use some more dimensionals just because I want to. Dimensionals are the perfect add-on to any order. If your order is getting close to a point where you can earn Stampin' Rewards, you just need a few dollars, throw on some dimensionals, $4, because if you're like me, you use them all the time. And they will never go to waste. And then you never run out of them either. It's kind of like toilet paper. Buy it before you need it. All right, I did order more of this Gorgeous Grape sheer ribbon, but for now, this is all I have. And I thought, I am going to make a little bow for this card with this piece of ribbon. I don't want to waste it. So let's see if I can do this with this little piece of ribbon. I can pull it through. Come on, fingers. Be sure to comment if you're watching. Be sure to share. I will give this card away. One of you will be the lucky winner. And then you will be able to use the card as you wish. Oh, pretty good. Not bad. Not bad for such a small piece of leftover ribbon. Of course, all of these colors are sticking around, and you will see them in our new annual catalog. But like I said, the bundle, the stamp set and die set, are new. So you'll be able to start ordering that on May the 4th. Oh, I think that's lovely. Do we need some bling, or do you think it's enough? Let me see the stamp set. I was going to say, Yeah, and all kinds of wonderful sayings in here. You're absolutely amazing. Here for you. I love this. Here for you now and in better days ahead. I love that. So very happy for you. Thank you for everything. So lots of great sentiments to add there. And Cindy says, we need bling. I kind of had a feeling you would say that. And I think this time, okay, I tend to use the pastel pearls a lot, but let's use some of our regular pearls and color them. And I will color them with, oh, I already have it out, with dark Highland Heather Stampin' Blends. And remember, Stampin' Blends are permanent ink. They are made with alcohol. So this is what you want to use when you're coloring any of your ribbons or embellishments. They dry pretty quickly. If you're working quickly, give them a moment to dry, but know that those little droplets around that are on the plastic around the outside of those pearls, know that those are going to stay wet longer. So just be aware of that with whatever tool you might be using. And you know, with this is fun because we can put them on that base. So it's still part of the main card. This over here, I think. But not necessarily on that focal point right there. Trying to decide where I want these. How about here and here? And yes, you want an odd number. I think that's pretty. Maybe this one should be a little lower though. There. All right, very pretty. What do you think? Amy and Shanda, yes, the bows, it's really just a matter of having made lots of bows over lots of years. You too can do it. There's no secret. It's just making sure you have a piece of ribbon that's long enough that you can pull with the tails and loops. I just keep tugging and pulling at those tails and loops until I get them the size I want, get the bow the size that I want, and then I trim the ends. So there's no real secret or magic to it. But again, the more you do it, the better it gets, the easier it gets. But thank you. I love having bows on my cards. So there is your Dutch door card. And on Monday, I'm going to show you a gift card holder. So I hope you join me on Monday for my gift card holder demonstration. And that'll be just in time for Mother's Day, graduations, Father's Day, that sort of thing. All those occasions where we enjoy giving gift cards. So once again, if you're still watching, be sure to comment below so that you get put into the drawing to win today's Dutch Door Fun Fold card. Alrighty. Have a great weekend. I get to go see my dear friend Deb Henning tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. We're going to watch her granddaughter play some softball, and then we're just going to kind of chill and enjoy each other's company for the weekend and catch up. So great to have you with me. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks so much for your support.